Welcome to another episode of the Yeeflow tutorial series. Today, we're delving into a powerful capability, calling web services using Form Actions HTTP request step. Yeeflow isn't just about forms and actions, it's about seamless integration with other systems. With the HTTP request step in Form Actions, you can effortlessly connect to third-party systems, retrieve data, and make your workflows even smarter. Let's walk through the steps of how to create a form action that calls Yeeflow's Restful API to fetch data from a data list and display it on an approval form. To start, we'll configure an approval form to showcase this feature. Add a single line control to the form. This will be used to input the item ID for the data list item. From the left controls panel, under the basic setting of content column, click on Edit icon. Set the field ID and field name as field item ID and item ID separately, and change its layout under the appearance column. Now, let's include a multiple line control. This will display the content of the queried data list item. In the Properties Settings panel of this control, open the associated variable setting window. Change the field ID to field item content and the field name to item content. Expand the validation group and toggle on the read-only setting. Add a button control labeled Get List Item Data to initiate the HTTP request. Here, change the button style by adjusting the typography and background colors. Under the Advanced column, you can also change the width of this button. Open the Actions Management window by clicking the Actions button. Create a new form action named HTTP request. Now let's add the HTTP request step to this action. To query a data list item with its ID, we'll call Yeeflow's Get an Item by ID API. You can find this API in the Yeeflow API documentation with the URL. Copy the API method from the Get API method. Now, back in the Form Designer, configure the HTTP request step. In the HTTP address field, use the expression editor to insert the API URL. Replace the app ID with 41. For the list ID, use the unique ID of the data list you want to query from. The list ID is the unique ID of the data list we want to query data from, and it can be found in the Application Settings page. For this example, we are going to use the Task Management data list to query one of its items. Replace the list ID with the ID that we just copied from the Task Management. For the ID parameter, we want to use the value of the single line control item ID, so replace the ID parameter with the workflow variable item ID. Choose Get as the method, and select Yeeflow Build in HTTP service for authentication. Lastly, specify that the result should be saved to the item content multiple line control. Select the Get List Item Data button, expand the action group, and choose the HTTP request action. Remember to save the settings by clicking the Save button. Preview the form and input a list item ID. You can find the ID from the ID list in the task form. Click Get List Item Data. Voila! The queried data will appear in the Item Content control. And there you have it. The power of Form Actions HTTP request step, unlocking seamless integration and data retrieval within your Yeeflow workflows.